Okay, I've got my new blank map and I've added all the feature classes from my geodatabase that was provided with the exercise. This BB Origins EX12 MDB. Simply drag and drop those over. And I've also included my BB Southwest TIFF. Now it's important to bring the feature classes in first because that's what's going to set the coordinate system for your data frame. It's easy enough to check and correct if you didn't do that. Let's go ahead and do that now. So the coordinate system is a property of your data frame. So I'm going to right click on the data frame, choose properties, and I'm going to check for the coordinates. So the coordinates that you're looking for, a coordinate system, is a top line here. North American Datum 1983, State Plains, Arkansas, North, Phipps 0301. So if it says that right here, you're good to go. Just pick OK. If it doesn't, you want to scroll up to the top of this window. We're going to expand the projected. We're going to expand the State Plains. We'll scroll down to where it says North American Datum 1983 US feet. Expand that. And we're looking for Arkansas, North, Phipps 301. So we pick that, pick OK. And now we're ready to start editing. In order to create spatial data, we have to start an editing session. So I'm going to open up my editing toolbar by right mouse clicking on any button. So I choose editor. So this is my editing toolbar. I'm going to start a new editing session. And now I'm ready to create. So on my toolbar I have create features. I can create buildings, points, railroads, streams, or streets, whichever I like. I'm going to start with points. And I don't know exactly where to left click on this, but if I look at my buildings information sheet, I've got an easting and northing coordinate value. So that's the same as XY. So when I right click and I choose absolute XY, I simply enter this values in. I'm going to do the water well first. So the easting value is related to the X coordinate. And the Y value is the northing coordinate. So when I press enter, my point shows up there, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom into that spot. And I know this is where I'm going to be working. So I've got my water well in place. I'm going to go ahead and look at the attributes for my water well by using the attributes tool on the editor toolbar. The attribute I've established is type. I'm going to call this water well. And this is what we'll use to create the labels later on. And now I'm going to create another point, again using the XY value. So the X value is given easting 1331350, and the northing is 255760. And again, I'm going to edit the attributes for this one. And this is going to be the gold mine. Okay, so we've established our 2 points already. The next thing I'm going to do is go back to my create features. And I'm going to digitize the stream. So I'm going to pick on streams. I can see the stream here in the aerial photograph, so I'm just going to left click along the center line of that stream and just kind of approximate its location as best I can through the aerial photograph. And when I get through, I'm going to right click and choose Finish Sketch. Now this creek is called Mason Creek, so again I'm going to edit the attributes. And I'm going to call Mason Creek. Now what you want to do periodically as you're creating the spatial data is to choose Save Edits, and that way if something bad were to happen, your computer crash, you won't lose everything, you'll only lose back to that point. The next thing I'm going to digitize using the aerial photograph is going to be the railroads. So I'm going to pick on railroad, and I'm just going to approximate the center line of this railroad. The railroad's name, again attribute, is Union Railroad. Okay, so we're doing well. Again, I might want to save. So really all I like now is adding the streets and the building. So I'm going to start with building A because we're given an XY value, northing and easting value for the lower left corner of building A. So I go back to my Create Features tool. I select Buildings. And to start building A, I'm going to right click and choose absolute XY. I'm going to enter these values in. So my easting value and then my northing value. And so that point has been placed. And now if I look at the dimensions of this building, it is 50 by 30. So I'm going to move my cursor the approximate direction. The instructions say that all buildings and streets are running north, south, east, and west, so the angles are true. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose direction and length. My direction is going to be straight to the right, which is going to be 360, and my length, I believe if I look that up, it's going to be 50. So I've got 360 and 50, press enter, and the second point of the building is located. I can zoom in a little closer. And I'm going to use direction and length again. So my direction in this case is going to be 90. My length in this case is going to be 30. Press enter. And I have the third corner of the building. I could use distance and direction again to finish this corner. Or if I right click and choose square and finish, the software will automatically square that building up for me. So that's how you create building A. The next thing I'm going to do is create building B. So I'm going to start right at the corner here, and I'm going to look at the size of it. It's 48 or 25 by 48. So again, I'm going to do direction and length, 360. This one is 25 this way, and direction and length again, 90. It's 48 that way, and I'm going to right click square and finish. Now, I forgot to go back and adjust my attributes on A, but it's not a problem. B is highlighted now, so I'm going to pick on my attributes, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that in, B. Looking at the building information sheet, this one should be label B. It is the saloon. It has a value of 1100, and it's public. Okay, I'm going to use my select tool, black arrow. I'm going to pick back on A, and now I can fill in the information for A. So label ID A, it's the hotel, has a $1,000 value, and its usage is also public. Okay, so you should be able to use that information to create the rest of the buildings. I'm going to create a street now. One of the things I'm going to do with the street is use a construction line, if you will. So I'm going to start right at this corner, and I'm going to go straight down with directions and length 270, and I'm going to go down 10 feet, so that'll be to the center line of the street. And now I'm going to come out this way and do direction and length. It's going to be 360, and I'm going to make this length maybe 450. I'm going to finish my sketch. What I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. I'm going to take this vertex off. So this street is selected. I'm going to pick Edit Vertices. I'm going to right click on this vertex and pick Delete Vertex. And I'm also going to pick on this vertex, is this first one here, and I'm going to move it 157 feet to the left by changing this value of 157 here to 000. And so now my street is running this way. So once you've really got digitized the creek and the railroad in, you can turn your BB aerial photograph off, and it might simplify making the rest of the things. But using these simple tools, you should be able to construct the rest of this project to finish this exercise. If you happen to have trouble, please send me an email. We'll try to work through it. Remember to save your edits periodically, and when you get done, you can stop your edits. Don't forget to include the attributes for the streets. So I recommend just adding the attributes as you go along, as you create the atoms. You're going to turn the labels on, make a nice map, and I look forward to seeing your work. When you're done, stop your editing, save your edits, and make a nice map. Thanks.